everyone. Welcome to our Nordstrom Beauty Live. Now, before I introduce our awesome guest, which I know you're very excited to talk to and ask questions, thank you for joining us. This is a shoppable event. So what that means is as we're hanging out and talking about products and things, we're going to be dropping links in the chat so you can shop along, play along. Also, we can see your comments and questions. So definitely don't be afraid to engage there. We'll do our best to answer your questions live. But we also have people behind the scenes that will respond to your questions. Now, Chriselle, before we get to chatting with you, we gotta brag about you a little bit. I hope that's okay.
Oh,
okay.
Love it.
You guys, Chriselle Lim, if you don't follow her, immediately do. Chriselle has over 6 million followers. She is, a global name. She's been in the fashion industry for a very long time, but not just fashion. She's into fashion. She's beauty, even tech. Recently launched a really cool kids care business. Talk about a powerful woman and an entrepreneur, a huge global community, and has been in publications like the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, TechCrunch, Forbes. Of course, she's been in cool magazines like Elle and Vogue, but I thought I'd name those other ones because I don't think we think about that when we think about beauty.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I could listen to you talk about me all day long.
Yeah. Which is what we're here to do. So I love that, right? We're here, the one that everyone's talking about, which is Chriselle Lim and Augustinus Bader. So we're here. I'm actually more excited to talk to Chriselle. I love product and we'll get into that. But Chriselle, how did you even get started in the beauty industry? I know you do fashion, other things, but how did you really get into the beauty industry?
Yeah, well, it was definitely by accident. It was never part of my roadmap. I always loved fashion. I studied fashion. I went to fashion school, but I think naturally with kind of the direction where digital media was going, I was in college at the time. I launched my blog. I had a YouTube channel. I was a bored college kid. And I was just really looking for a creative outlet.
Okay, well, being bored really worked out for you.
You know what? I always try to tell people being bored is good.
Yeah.
And I also try to encourage my little ones to be bored more often because I think little kids, sometimes they want all the stimulation, but I think you get creative when you're bored. And so, yeah, during those times, I was like, you know what? I want to start testing out beauty products. I want to start, talking about the outfits that I wear every single day while I was in college. And back then there was only a handful of us that were really doing that. And that was really the start of the digital boom, I would say.
I agree. Yeah. I have to say it, you guys, and I'm sure we know, I think influencer can mean a lot of things to a lot of people, good, bad, or indifferent. But I mean, Chriselle is really one of the original influencers before we even knew what an influencer was.
Yeah, the
term I don't think really exists yet. Yeah.
I think we were called more so YouTubers or bloggers back then.
YouTube's making a comeback.
Yes,
we're on YouTube now, but yes.
Yeah. So and I think because I was a college student back in the day and I had very limited funds and I had to really get creative with my routine, whether it be putting an outfit together or putting my beauty look together. And I think that's how I started building my little community. And that was, I don't know, maybe 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah, time goes fast.
Yeah.
You look great.
Thank you.
So, well, you mentioned being a bored college student. So obviously that was one of your catalysts, but where do you draw your inspiration from now? When you're thinking about fashion or you're putting your stuff together or the collaborations that you do, what really inspires you?
I think just everyday life, I think we all get so occupied with being on social media all the time. And I realize that when I'm online all the time, that's when I am the least creative because I'm just consuming content, which is important with my job and really to stay up to date with, the relevancy of things that are happening in the world. But for me, true inspiration, true creativity really comes from when I'm offline. And so when I'm just walking about, observing things, I was just I literally just flew in from south of France to be here.
Oh my gosh, you guys, someone texted me, they're like, she's in France, she's not coming. I was like, she's gonna be here. Sorry, I had to share that with you. I was laughing. I was like, no, I'm sure she's gonna be here.
Well, a little secret is that I always post a little delayed. So
there you go.
On Instagram, I'm still in the south.
So you can't stalk her because she's posting delayed.
Yes,
there you go.
Exactly. That's my little secret. So technically I'm in the south of France on my social media right now.
Love
but if you're here, you know that I'm here in LA or Orange County.
So
I was just walking around and I really try to unplug when I'm not working and not look at my phone. And I just watch people, how their demeanor, how they're dressed, and it just brings up inspiration for me. I saw this older lady that had all this chain, she just had this white blouse and all this like gold vintage chain. I'm like, I want to recreate that look. And so it's just really about being present and really just kind of stepping away from being so tied to the phone all the time. That's when I feel the most inspired.
So then do you schedule that? Not your content time, but do you schedule that like, I need to not be so in the moment?
You know, I used to, but I don't anymore because I think I've made it very habitual in my daily routine of I know this might sound surprising, but not being on my phone when I don't have to. So I will post when I have to post, but outside of that, I actually do very little scrolling. And I kind of had to, and I think it's also because I am a mother and I am a co-parent. So
Two girls.
two girls.
Yeah.
I am a co-parent, so my time with the girls is limited. I share 50-50 custody, so I'm only with them half the time. So when I'm with the girls, I want to be with them. So of course I still have to work, but then when I work, and I just kind of put my phone away, or even if it's next to me, I don't really take the time to scroll.
Yeah.
When I do scroll is usually at nighttime, maybe max for about an hour. Just to kind of
a lot. I mean, you can consume a lot in an hour.
lot. But I think that's I also don't want to get disturbed during the day. Like I want to stay focused. And so I try to get all my kind of catch up at the end of the day. And so, yeah, that's how I usually, limit, I guess, my time on social media.
All right. Well, then speaking of social media, sorry, and because we put some questions together because we were super curious. So I love that you talked about, like, basically you're saying, like, you talked about balance, like you set boundaries. So then when we think about balance, I think about self-care. Now, for some of us, self-care is using like really nice, luxurious skincare. But how would you say, like, how important is self-care to you? And like, what does that mean? Like, how do you translate self-care in your routine?
Self-care is everything to me. Self-care, obviously it can mean skincare if that makes you feel good. Self-care is anything that really makes you feel at ease, at peace, something that will make you feel alive and present. And self-care has been more important to me in the past 2 years than it ever really has, because a lot of my followers know I went through a divorce, and during the divorce process, I realized how much I was not taking care of myself before. I was running 150 miles per hour, being a mom, being a businesswoman, doing everything that a woman could do. And a lot of women run their lives every single day like this, and they never take the time to breathe and think about themselves, because at the end of the day, after you've given your all, the last thing you want to do is think about yourself, right? You just want to get your 3-5 hours of sleep and then just start all over again. So during this kind of transitional period for me, I realized, I discovered what makes me feel really good. And I realized once I felt good, I was able to channel kind of that energy. And with that right energy, when I felt good, I was able to really see great results in my outside world. And so I believe that everything is interconnected, from your inner energy to your outer energy. And so self-care, that is what self-care means to me, is whatever makes you feel good and at peace. And a lot of times it has to do with taking care of yourself from the inside out or the outside in.
I love that.
And skincare.
We got a couple comments. They're like loving these self-care tips. So thank you. And actually, for those who are watching, like, drop a comment. I'd love to hear, we'd love to see, like, what else you think is self-care, what makes you feel good. I love that you were so honest. Thank you, about like just the busyness and a mom and kids and divorce. I mean, this is real life. So yes, it's all glamorous on the gram, but she's a real person too.
Yeah, for sure.
So then I'm going to transition a little bit. So we're speaking of giving really good advice. What is the best skincare advice that you've ever gotten?
The best skincare advice is probably from, I actually don't know who gave this to me, but I just remember it was someone in Korea, because I am Korean and I go visit Korea quite a bit. And they told me that there's really no such thing as anti-aging necessarily in Korea, because
we're all going to age.
One, we are all going to age. But two, is if you're already taking care of your skin from the start, no matter how young you are, then it's not about anti-aging. It's about just, upkeeping really good skin. And so that really stuck with me, because I think we are so focused on like anti-aging with wrinkles and da da da. But like if we are starting at a young age, let's say, I don't know, 18 even, right?
Yeah.
If you start thinking about self-care and how you want your skin to be for, I don't know, the rest of your life, then you adopt those steps at an early age versus once you see the wrinkles
Then
or
you start
once
reacting.
then you start
Yeah.
reacting. And so I think that was one of the best advice that I heard from somebody. And ever since then, I've always kind of took care of my skin with that idea in mind of always just taking care of my skin, not just because, you know, I don't want to age or it's
Yeah.
anti-aging. Yeah.
And it feels good. It feels kind of self-pampering.
Yeah.
I will share like the number one advice I got, and I don't even say it's number one, it's the most basic thing, but I remember my mom my mom in my ear, wash your face, wash your face. I know that seems so small, but even as a teenager, when I started wearing makeup, you know, I probably wasn't consistent. My mom was like, if you just do anything, Autumn, will you just take it off? So whether you get sweaty or whatever, I just think that was funny. My mom would always say that.
Also another one, which is, and I do agree with that one, like washing your face, no matter how tired you are, you have to wash your
Yes,
face.
even if it's a wipe, not my favorite, but you got to do something.
Yeah, got to take all that dirt off. So retinol, it's not like advice that someone gave me, but like if I was to give someone advice, retinol really, really helps with just like everything. I have a little bit of more oily combination
Okay.
skin. So retinol also helps control that, but also helps with like, you know, anti-aging wrinkles and all of that.
Yeah, like retinol. Actually, we're gonna jump around. So Augustine's Bader has a retinol serum, and before we got started, Chriselle did say she's like, "Oh, I really love this serum." And so to your point, retinol, where you're at, and you're like, I don't say aging game, in your skincare game, retinol is resurfacing. So people who have textures, if like your pores look like dirty and full, or like any of that stuff, it also can help with brightness. So that resurfacing makes you just look fresher. So I love that you shared that. Okay, so fun fact, Augustinus Bader is still kind of new, right? Like it's still very new in the market, but I feel like you're one of the very first people that really kind of talked about it and discovered it. So what did you first fall in love with? When Augustinus Bader launched, we have all these amazing products we're going to talk about, but they started with just moisturizer.
Yeah,
so how did you discover that? Yeah, the cream.
Yeah, I was one of the very first, I guess, few people that actually tested out Augustinus Bader before they became who they are today.
Yeah.
And it's just been really amazing to see the evolution and the growth of the brand, because immediately when I tried out the moisturizer, because they launched with the moisturizer and it was just one moisturizer at the time. It wasn't rich cream or it wasn't light cream. There was no light cream.
It was just
the cream.
The cream.
Yeah, it was the cream. And I just remember being like, oh, this is like heavy duty cream. Like it actually does the stuff, right? And it's like the one cream for all. And so I was just obsessed with that cream, and that was my initial introduction to Augustinus Bader. And then obviously, as the line grew, my love and affinity for the brand grew as well. But yeah, I think that was maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah,
around 2017-ish.
Yeah, longer than it goes by again. Kind of is like elusive. It goes by really fast. Okay, so then talk to us a little bit then. So like obviously you discovered the cream and you felt like you saw like this immediate difference, like your skin looked better. We know you love the retinol serum. Tell us a little bit about like, and yes, if we follow you, we know, but tell us a little bit about like your skincare routine when you're using Augustinus Bader. Like what is that like morning routine look like versus a PM routine?
So my morning routine, I splash water on my face. I don't use a cleanser or anything. I just splash water on my face, and then I go directly into the serum. This one is actually the one that I use every morning.
The serum.
And night. The serum. Yeah. Okay. I love that they coined like the.
Yeah, it's like
the
this
cream,
is it.
the rich cream, the serum.
Point.
Yeah. So that serum, it's an incredibly hydrating serum.
Yeah, let's do some texture. Let's do it.
Yeah. I just don't like wasting.
I know. That's okay. We are handsome skincare too.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a very light but incredibly hydrating. It's like, I don't know, just keeps your skin really, really moist throughout the day. For me, it's a great base under my makeup as well. So I use this AM and PM.
Oh, use it both.
Both.
Okay.
This one I only use in the PM.
This is the retinol serum.
The retinol serum. So I always use this, and then this. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but that's what I do. And then I go into. I actually use the light cream during the
Yeah.
day, and then the rich
So,
cream.
This the light cream, and I love that Auxin has like this little stand for
I
it.
know, I'm obsessed with these.
Yeah,
little
because it
stands.
looks so cute on your vanity. So Chriselle was saying how Augustinus Bader started with like the cream, and they have the rich cream. But I think Augustinus for now has like four different moisturizers. You have the cream, the rich cream, there's a soothing cream, the light cream. I think there maybe five, might be one more. But this is like a really light. I don't want to say gel because it doesn't feel like gel,
Yeah.
but it's like
It's more hydrating than
light.
gel, because I feel like
Yeah.
most gels, they kind of dry down afterwards, but it kind of has that texture of a gel, but it's not a gel. Oh my God, your skin feels so moisturized. Put it on
It's
my
so
face.
good. I know, like let's not
Yeah.
waste.
Yeah, so I use this guy, the light cream
Yeah.
for the day. Just because, as I mentioned earlier, I do have combination skin, so it tends to get a little bit oily during the day. And then at night, I will use the rich cream.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, okay, I did take notes. So I was like, wait a minute. So the rich cream, so because I can't memorize this, like I'm a skincare like devotee, but maybe not like all the things. So the rich cream is great if you have normal to dry skin. The cream is great for combination to oilier skin. Now you can use whatever texture feels good for you. This is just the brand's recommendations. The light cream, like Chriselle said, it's ultra lightweight, but it still feels super moisturizing. And then you have ultra rich. So for maybe people who do have, I would say more sensitive skin, you get extremely dry, or you live in like a very I think of Arizona, like if you live in a very dry state,
desert.
Yeah, the ultra rich would be really, really good.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the serum for a second, because you said, oh, I use it day and night, which you can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can use it both. But this serum is so good because it has vitamin C in it.
Yeah.
Which is great for like the daytime, like the brightening and all of that.
I'm obsessed with the serum. So yeah, I guess technically you could use this during the day and this during the night.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they have an incredible mask that we were talking about that you love. I love it as well, but I like how you said that you use it in the morning.
Yes. Okay. So they have this like cream. It's like a moisturizing mask, right? And so you put it on, and you can go to sleep with it. Like you can leave it on as an overnight mask. But I like to use it as like a takeoff mask. So in the morning, so my trick in the morning, actually, because I've gone to sleep with clean skin, I don't do a harsh cleanser in the morning. I just do like cold water in a washcloth, and I take like an essence or a toner. Then I use the mask and I leave it on for a solid 5 to 10 minutes while I'm like doing my hair or something else.
Oh, I love that.
And then I tissue it off. So I just like really plump and moisturized.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that next time. I always usually leave the masks for nighttime, but then it makes a lot of sense to do it in the morning.
And I travel a lot.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I just need that extra moisture in the morning.
That's
and so that's my way to do it.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that next time.
I love that. Okay. Oxygen has a new product, and I feel like it's near you. So they just launched eye patches.
Yes. These babies.
I don't know about you've noticed this. I feel like face mask, like the cloth face mask and eye patches are kind of having a comeback.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm seeing them all over again.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, no, so I've been flying a lot lately, and I just see these girls, mainly girls, on the plane, like full on mask and eye patches. And
have you ever done that on the plane?
All
you
the
did?
time,
Okay.
all the time. Just because I'm usually flying to get to a job, and so I have to look
show up ready.
I have to show up ready and hydrated, and not like I've been on the plane for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Right? And so I do carry around masks, eye masks. These are amazing. Actually, I was using these guys when I was flying back here, and I just feel like it really brightens and it kind of cools down that eye area. I am a little puffy here, and so I think it like kind of calmed it down.
Yes, these are like brand new. I literally actually just tried them for the first time this morning, so I wanted to test it out. But I do this with a lot of things, but I like to put my mask when I travel in the mini fridge in the room.
Yeah.
Because then I can put it on and it's like cold and cooling.
Oh, it's the best feeling.
Yes.
Oh, and if you have a roller, roll it with the little roller too.
Yes, yes, nice. Absolutely. I know I don't want to open it, you guys, because I feel like I don't want to waste an eye patch. I don't want to waste an eye patch. Okay, so if you had to share anything else about Augustinus Bader in terms of like the skincare, and again, I know we don't have it all here, but because I do follow you, I feel like you talked about their toner and their essence, and using that. Like, tell me about that.
I mean, I've always been huge on the first step, actually, when you wake up, and then right after you cleanse at night, it should be an essence because it preps the skin. And so I usually use their toner. Sometimes people put on a cotton pad. I like it putting it on directly onto my hands, rubbing it, and then just patting it in. Patting it in just to get it ready. And I don't know, there's something really nice about that routine. So I always use an essence first. essence or toner, whatever you want to call it. And then I go into the serum and the cream. I would have to say my most used product is the serum and the cream.
Okay. So
And
the serum and just the cream.
the
The
cream,
cream. Okay.
the cream. And I also like that these are so small and easy
The
to
serum
travel
and the
with.
cream. So these are your go-to.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, my go-tos. Yeah. And they're just really easy to travel with as well. So, which is
They are.
a big
And
thing
this
for
one
me.
actually comes in a smaller travel size now.
Yes.
So same product, but it just comes in like a smaller.
I'm all
more
about the travel
size.
size. All about the
I was
travel size.
asking her before we got started. I was like, "Do you travel with full size or travel?" And she said travel
Travel
size.
everything.
So
Yeah.
there you go. This
travel
does take up a
everything.
lot of room if you are trying to do full size. It can be a lot. I've done it, but that's just because I've
Yeah.
panicked packed. On
What
the
are
occasion.
your kind of go-tos?
My go-tos, I would say, actually, they're not up here. My go-to is their foaming cleanser,
Mhm.
and the balm. I like to wear a lot of makeup, so I'm a double cleanse
Oh,
kind
double
of
cleanse
girl.
all the way,
So I'll
girl.
do their cleansing balm, and then I'll do the foam cleanser. And then just honestly, depending on what my skin needs, I do use a retinol serum. I don't use it every single night. So I'll usually just do that at minimum and a moisturizer.
I would say the
because I'm
retinol
tired and
serum,
lazy.
you have to get your skin kind of used to it.
Yeah.
So I always say if you're new to retinol, start off with max, maybe 2 times a week.
Okay.
And then once your skin gets used to it, then you could build it up from there.
I love that.
I like to use it every day.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if I have the time, so like it depends. I would
Yeah.
say like a couple times a week, I'm doing my full, I would say almost like 7 steps where I'm like cleansing and doing a mask and treatments and things like that, and incorporate some other things. Like I like to use some tools and stuff on the weekends as well. But I'd love to hear from you guys watching. I know someone commented like they're loving everything we're talking about, that as they enter their 40s. Thank you. Someone said we have glowy skin, so thanks so much, you guys. But we'd love to know what other kind of like skincare questions you have in general about routines or about Augustinus Bader.
Diana is asking, I have combination skin too, and I need to try this. What do you recommend for daytime? I would say the serum. The serum is very lightweight. This one.
Yep, that's
And
I would say in the
light cream.
Yeah. So Dan, so we're recommending the serum and the light cream. So like you're gonna get super good moisture, like still get great moisture, but it's not gonna feel heavy. And you can use this day and night. Like you don't have to have 2 different moisturizers if that's not your jam.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yep. I think those are your best bet if you're a little bit oily. So that'll be my recommendation.
Okay, so as we're waiting for a couple more questions, we're gonna brag a little bit about Augustinus Bader. So like Chriselle said, she discovered around 2017, they just started with their moisturizer. So if you really think about the beauty industry and how many powerful names are out there, this is still a really new brand. And you guys, just in the last 4 years, Augustinus Bader has won over 104 awards from this, I know, right? From like the science, from the doctor itself, who's pictured here, who's created it, of course, from like fan favorites that we probably more know, like Allure and Marie Claire and Elle, but like it's won like ingredient awards, science awards, global awards. So I mean, the brand is really impactful in such a short time. So we're just really passionate about it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's a lot of awards for a short amount of time.
I know, I was studying and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like,
and especially like in such a competitive.
For sure.
Skincare, there's a lot of I guess historical brands, right?
Yeah.
And so
things our moms use that we knew, like we grew up with, or people that we follow that, like, there's a lot of good choices. I'll say it like that.
A lot of good choices. So
yeah,
that's incredible. And that for me, I'm such like well, what is the science behind it?
Yeah.
Right? And so even though I'm not a scientist and I don't know all the terms, but I just love to hear that there is a team behind that really looks into the science of kind of why the product does what it does.
Yeah. This is named after Dr. Augustinus Bader is the actual scientist.
Yeah.
I think there's more technical name. Maybe someone can put it in the chat behind the scenes, but he created this brand. So yes. Okay, let's see. Is that Laura said, I've heard their hair products are good too. Thoughts on it? Yes. Actually, have you tried any of their hair products?
I actually have not tried their hair products yet.
Okay. Well, I have tried their oil. So I will say they have a shampoo and conditioner. And so I'm sure you guys have seen that it shouldn't be a trend, but a new talked about trend is scalp health.
Yeah.
Right. Like kind of like
a lot about
health,
that.
Right. Like you can't like take care of your skin if you're not washing it and cleansing it and prepping it. Same for your hair. You got to take care of your scalp before you take care of your hair. So anyways, I've been using their scalp oil and their hair oil, and I've seen a huge difference. It's kind of like a detox for your scalp if you're using a lot of dry shampoo, or even if like as our hair changes when we get older. It doesn't mean thinning, but hair texture changes.
Oh, yeah.
So thinning, different concerns, it helps with all of those things. So I've seen great results, but I too have not necessarily invested in the shampoo and conditioner yet, but I'm into those treatments. Also science. Okay, so I don't know how to say it, so I'm going to make the Augustinus Bader team that's I know behind the scenes in the chat type it out there for us. So all Augustinus Bader products by the doctor have a proprietary ingredient. For short, it's TCF8. It does all the things. The reason why this line helps with anti-aging, it helps with, I don't say anti-aging, that's not a thing, it's true. It helps with like soothing the skin and taking care of like redness, roughness, right? Like fine lines, hydration, like all the things that we can see in our skin, like this brand can take care of that. Brightness, dullness, it does all the things. But it's because of the TCF8 that he created. So I don't know how to say it, but someone, like I said, will probably type it in there and let us know.
Yeah, I mean, I think on all the packaging it has a TC. Yeah.
Right?
Like, yeah, TFC8.
Oh, I had it backwards.
TFC8.
I was close. Okay, I transposed it. But yes, the proprietary ingredient that Dr. Augustinus Bader put in his products. Oh, there, trigger factor complex 8. Okay, there we
go. That's what it means. Trigger factor
complex 8.
Okay, amazing.
So, you know, I know this is like conversation was so easy and it kind of like went fast, but I'd love to know if there's anything else that you're just really inspired to share about the brand, or even yourself. We've got so many cool things going on. So we're so honored to like take up some of your precious time today.
Well, it's an honor for me to be here, but I really think that, you know, obviously the products are really good and they're effective. And for me, it's not necessarily about, you know, how many steps you're doing, whether it's 3 steps or 8 steps or 10 steps, because I think, you know, for a while I thought the more steps the better, but I think it's really about finding products that are effective and it's efficient and it does what it says it's going to do. And for me, as I get busier and I travel so much, I can't travel with like 10 different products. I literally take, and people get shocked. They're like, what? This is all you brought?
Yeah, like what do you take?
I literally bring like one cleanser, one toner, one moisturizer, one serum, and a sunblock. And I like, it just makes my life so much easier. So it's really important for me to find products that just get the job done. And it's not about like adding more.
Yeah.
And so I just want to put it out there. And you know, obviously with Augustinus, I keep coming back to it. And my job is to try out a lot of different products, but I always keep coming back to Augustinus because it's just so effective. And my skin like eats it up, and you could tell when I'm wearing it or I'm using it because my skin just looks the best and it just looks the most glowy. And
it does. I'm really close to her and she's not lying. Her skin looks really, really good.
Yeah. And I've been traveling nonstop. And so I think I just want to put it out there. It's not necessarily about like buying a bunch of products. It's finding the products that work really well for you and investing your dollars there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing. You guys, you know, this conversation went fast, but in a good way because it was just so easy and organic. We're so thrilled to have Chriselle here at Nordstrom. We are behind the scenes in one of our Nordstrom locations in Orange County. And we're thrilled to have the brand kind of co-sponsor this and talk about the great innovation that the product has. And it's simple. The brand makes it simple for you. So no matter where you're at in your skincare journey, or I would say even your age, like this isn't just about because we're like women that are getting older. This could be for men. It could be for teenagers. It really could be for anyone. So whatever concern you have, I think it just works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think simplicity is key. And I think they make it quite simple of what your skin needs, and a good serum, a good moisturizer.
Yes. Oh, that's all you need.
A good retinol.
And a good retinol.
Yeah, a good retinol.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Chriselle, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And of course, if you have any questions that didn't get answered about the product, I can't commit Chriselle's time, but we can commit our time at Nordstrom. We have online beauty stylists. We have stylists in our stores. Please reach out. We're happy to help get you an expert to help you find your perfect Augustinus Bader routine. So thanks, everyone. Bye.